Okay, here we go. Welcome to Trig Tac Toe, everyone. My name is Frank. Today we're going to be looking at the Rofis TR20. This is an 1100 lumen flashlight with a swivel head. We're going to put it through its paces, tell you what I think. Let's get to it. So a couple weeks back, Rofis sent me a flashlight. This is a really cool flashlight, unique, different than the ones that we typically use, and I'll get to that feature in a second. But this is a really cool flashlight. I spent the last couple weeks looking it over, testing it out, trying it out, becoming familiar with it, kind of how it works, how it functions. And I'm going to be going over the more notable features on this in just a minute. I wanted to get the standard features out of the way. But my overall impression is this is a great looking light. It's solidly built, and I really like it a lot. I can see it being used as my go-to flashlight in a truck, RV, boat, bug-out bag. It fits well in my hand. It has a very balanced fill. The center of gravity is just shy of center if you were measuring from the back. And it has a lot of the features that you find standard on most flashlights, namely the clip, as well as the knurling for grip. And this one has a HA3 military grade coating, so that's found on a lot of higher end flashlights. Kind of provides that added an extra level of chip protection, so the coating keeps the flashlight looking nice or nicer, depending on how ruggedly you use it, because it is not indestructible, but it's nice to have. It also has the IPX8 waterproofing rating, so that it will keep functioning. This is up to 2 meters for about 30 minutes, which is pretty standard for most flashlights. Just an overall nice flashlight. As for the distinguishing features about this flashlight, let's start with the most notable and cool part of the light, which is the swivel head. The first thing to say about this is that if you don't know, if I didn't know it was there, I probably wouldn't find it by accident. The joint where this head pivots, it's very flush and it's hidden. It seems very solid, which I really like. After you finally locate the seam, I think you can see it right here, it does take a deliberate amount of force to make the head swivel, which I liked. This is, you don't want the head of the flashlight to move around and shake, and you can tell that this is, it takes a deliberate force to move the head back and forth. So that's the most notable difference between this flashlight and others, and I really like it. I mean, you can take it, you can move it around, and I'll get into kind of why this is a good thing. Let me touch on some of the other features, and then we'll get back to that. The light source on the TR20 is the Cree XPL HI, or high intensity. This is a V3 LED and puts out 1100 lumens. So this is a very bright flashlight. I'm just consistently impressed with how much power or how much light these flashlights kick out. They keep getting smaller. Some of you have seen the review that I did on the flashlight a couple weeks ago. These flashlights are kicking out a tremendous amount of light, and it just feels like it lights up the entire night, especially on a dark night. It lights up everything, and this is no different with 1100 lumens. The second standout feature that complements that pivoting head is the removable magnetic tail. It has a magnet that comes off, or you can put it on, depending on how you want to use it, which allows the flashlight to be placed out of the way and provides a really solid workshop type solution if you're working on something and you want to kind of stick it and keep it out of the way. And with that pivoting head, that allows you to kind of turn and put it wherever you want it. It has a male, female. The male is on the magnet itself, and the female fits, or the screw that's being used is the standard 1/4-20 screw. This is the same type of screw that's found in a tripod. So if you wanted to fix this more permanently somewhere else, that's also an option, and I really like that that's thought through, so that you have the ability to kind of put this in permanently or semi-permanently somewhere and fix that light where you want it. Now, the TR20 comes powered by one 18650 battery. and that is the equivalent of two CR123A batteries. So you can use two CR123A batteries, or you can use the larger 18650 battery. Now, both of those types of batteries are becoming more common with these newer types of flashlights coming on the market that need a lot of power. But I've said this before: if it's not powered with a common battery, or if it's not rechargeable, it becomes very difficult to use your flashlight for any amount of time in a an emergency situation. So I really like that this uses the common USB or micro USB cable, something you can find in a lot of other devices. Now the switch on this light is a dual switch. The power here is on the bottom, the toggle is on the top. It has quick access to turbo. If you click and hold, it turns it on to its brightest setting, or if you click and hold the toggle switch, it turns it on to moonlight, which is its lightest setting. And then you have, once the light is on, if you click and hold the toggle switch, you get into strobe. If you click and hold again, it will take you to a beacon, just a steady flashing light. And if you click and hold again, it will take you to the SOS strobe type of pattern. So, and then again, if you just toggle that top switch, it will take you through the different intensities of light. So a couple things to keep in mind. I mentioned that the pivoting head is hard to move. I found myself, when I was holding the light, trying to pivot the light with one hand because I wanted to kind of see if it could be done with just my thumb. And with a little practice, I was able to do it. But it does, in the process, it exposes this edge right here, that it's sharp, and I found it to be very sharp. So as I moved my thumb across this right here, it really does, you have to be careful. I don't think it's quite sharp enough to cut, but you can tell just by looking at that angle, it's not a polite one. So I found myself sliding my thumb across it a couple times, and I actually had to look at my thumb to make sure it wasn't sliced. It's not intended to be used like that, and so, but I just find myself wanting to do it. So just be aware that it is a very sharp edge. And also, because of the tolerance along this pivoting head, it does beg the question how it would hold up in more sandy conditions. So I live in an area in a state where it has a lot of dusty, sandy areas, and all equipment that has these tight tolerances become kind of difficult. My walking sticks, for example, when I'm trying to extend them out, sand gets caught, and you can just tell it's in there. So I'm probably do a video down the road and see how this holds up, how this light head, holds up over time. But the tight tolerance on one hand is very nice, and I imagine that any sand that gets in there will eventually, get crushed or work out as dust. But just something else to keep in mind. And this should go without saying, but because this thing kicks out 1100 lumens, it gets very hot when the light has been on its highest setting for any amount of time. I turned it on to turbo to test it out and left it on for about 30 minutes. And after about 10 minutes, it seemed to have stabilized at a very kind of unscientific measurement of too hot to comfortably hold. You can feel it, and it was very hot. Not quite burning your finger hot, but it was hot. So I think on some scale that's kind of a cool thing, because man, you can tell this thing is really kicking out some heat and kicking out some light. But overall, this is a solidly built light. I've really liked it. Again, my thanks to the guys at Rofis for sending this over, letting me take a look at it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'd love to answer them. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Until next time, my name is Frank. We'll see you. Bye-bye.